Hey, I'm so impressed. Seriously, I memang ingatkan you ni anak orang kaya. Before we actually even proceed, let's introduce our guest for today. Nabil Rashad. He is the CEO and founder?
Yes, CEO and founder.
Of BlackGrid.
Correct.
Can you tell me, or tell us, what is your background and what is BlackGrid all about?
Okay, so my background, I actually studied in engineering. I studied in California, United States, in Los Angeles specifically, in industry engineering. But I do have a minor in international business and marketing. So I think I give a bit of context of when I started the company and why I started the company. So maybe daripada situ orang boleh faham macam kenapa I buat BlackGrid ni. And so I think about 6 months prior to graduation to macam in 2015. So,
2015 was your graduation?
Yes, my graduation year. So during that time, I was thinking like, okay, I'm in the land where there's a lot of opportunities, right? There's not a lot of people who are there who are able to do things, right? So at that time, a lot of people studying tech companies and whatnot, and some people were also diving deeply into digital marketing. So during that time, I saw like, okay, I was sold to this idea of having this laptop lifestyle. I can be to the beach of Bali, have my computer, I can make money. But I didn't know where to start. So I just figured out, okay, I guess I need a website. So I started coding on my own. I learned via YouTube and all that for free. So I started building websites and I wanted to sell affiliate products. Okay. So during that time, people were spending money on Facebook ads. And as a student, I didn't really have money to spend. So I didn't know how my competitors were actually getting traffic to their website. So from there, I understood like, okay, if you have a website, you actually need to do SEO. Then you can get the free organic traffic. So then I went into this rabbit hole of learning what is SEO, how SEO actually work and actually implement it and start ranking things and starting to get sales. So over time, I learned about, okay, in SEO, you have a choice of whether you rank websites and you sell them or you go into the agency space. So I've always wanted to build like a business that I'm proud of, like in a way that, okay, I can have a team, I can lead people among my employees or people around me. And I saw that, okay, maybe consulting or agency is the path that I want to take. So that was closer to about 2 to 3 months before graduation. I started working for people for free. So I have a skill set. This is what I do. Of course, not a lot of people would accept me at that time. I had to go a few people, and actually one company in Miami sort of said yes, and I worked for them for...
Miami is all the way in Florida?
Yes,
but
correct.
You were in California?
Correct. So I worked remotely.
Oh, remotely? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah. And when he accepted that, and I said, okay, let's do for 3 months and see how it goes. So after 3 months have passed and I was getting closer to graduation, he told me like, hey, Nabil, you already have this set of skills that I don't think there's a lot for me to teach you on what to do with SEO. But I think you can open up a path on your own. Why don't you start your own company, your own agency, and you stay in Los Angeles lah. Jangan kacau aku dekat Miami lah kan. Something like that. So I gave the idea a thought like, okay, maybe I can do that. But the thing is, what people don't realize in the US is a bit different if you were to study in UK. Since you study in the US as well. In the US, if you want to stay and work or start your own business, you have to work within your major lah. Parentheses, work within your major. So if you're an engineer, you have to work in an engineer. If you're doing business, you can't go into engineering or anything
But this
else.
is as a foreign student?
As a foreign student.
For a foreigner in general?
Yes, as a foreigner in general. So if you have an F1 student visa, if you go and study there, or J1 for example, then you're pretty much stuck within whatever that you're studying lah. So, but I was fortunate enough that I was studying industrial engineering, and in the definition of industrial engineering is actually the study of systems and businesses and optimizing systems. All right. So SEO is technically optimizing your search engine on your website, right? So I started an LLC that states that I do consulting as a startup to local businesses.
Wait, LLC is a limited liability company?
Correct. Right. Yeah, it's almost like a Senyam Berhad here lah kan. So that company is then founded by me, and which we will go out and consult and help businesses to help with their search engine optimization. So when I applied to that, and since the definition somehow matches, and I think also the fact that I have the minor international business and marketing also helps. So then it was approved, and then my visa to stay for another year to work with my startup was approved.
Okay.
And
how long was that visa for?
That visa was 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
So the first year is 1 year. Then you
Right.
have to report your progress, what you've done, and all that. And then as a STEM major, because in engineering and sciences, you can add an extra 24 months on top of whatever you have.
That's 3 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I stayed. They are the buffer lah kan. So I stayed about 3 years straight after 2015, and towards middle of 2018, I balik Malaysia lah. To basic at that time, it was a time when Trump actually came into power. That was the time when I was applying for my next level punya visa, where my attorney at that time, my lawyer lah kan, yang handles immigration, he also handles the business part of the tool. He said that, okay, Nabil, we are in a situation where I cannot promise you that you'll be able to get your visa, because I'm also applying for a lot of other people, and out of 10 applications, 8 or 9 of them were rejected.
Okay.
Because of Trump's policies of not wanting immigrants to come. And
But not all immigrants.
Not all, correct.
Okay.
Not all. But it's more like the kind of visa that he always puts in is clear cut. It's pretty much only 1-2 je yang akan get rejected. Tapi during that time, somehow any kind of application was rejected. So I tanya dia, is it just happening in California, or is it you, or is it kan macam tu lah, just an honest question lah. But at the same time, he said, no, I have my counterparts in New York and other states that are also experiencing the same thing. And so since I was at the end of my visa tu kan, and you know how in the US, kalau you overstay je kan, you get blacklisted, you can't go in anymore.
Right.
So he gave me a choice. Like he said, okay, you have a choice whether you want to go back to Malaysia and then come back here with a visitor's visa, and you can because you can technically run your business that way, it's not a problem, or you can try and stay and fight for it, and maybe eventually you get to. So at that time I buat solat istikhara, rasa macam if I want to stay longer here, I don't want to put myself in a risk that macam tiba-tiba I kena balik, I can't even
deportation
come back,
and then tak boleh kena ban. Okay.
Yes, betul. So I decided to just, okay, I balik and give me like 3 to 6 months dekat Malaysia, and then come back and continue that cycle lah. So going back and forth kind of thing.
So the back and forth, the visitor's visa is for how long?
10 years.
10 years. So you could go and come back anytime and stay for as long as you want?
I can stay a maximum of 3 months.
Per visit, then you have to leave and then come back if you so want to lah.
Yes.
Could you leave to Canada or Mexico instead of by land?
But yes. As long as you go out of the immigration punya ports, which is checkpoints, then you can come back lah.
Okay.
Yes,
So that's a not a loophole lah, but it's just the way that was intended.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
I have a question about this. Let's go back a bit about your studying. Because when people cakap pasal belajar overseas, selalu salah satu soalan adalah GPA marah. So in your situation, what was it?
It was marah.
It was marah. Okay, it was marah, and then you finished studying, and then you stayed there.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they're happy that you actually did pretty well. But there's also a question about, yelah, you talk about attorney, running a company, LLC. People nak buka LLC kat Malaysia pun, sorry to say, a bit macam bahasa kasar dia terkedik-kedik sikit lah.
Okay.
Tapi you managed to open one all the way in the States.
Yes.
What kind of support do you have there? Is it mentorship support?
Okay.
Is it parental support, monetary support?
Alright. So I think at that time it's just more of two things. Number one is the fact that it was always a dream that I wanted to. So I'm more like the type of guy, if I want something, I have a plan and I work towards it.
Okay.
And second, I think it's more of about macam not having a choice or matter of desperation.
Right.
Because at that time it was also quite complicated, because my family was going through like a financial situation where I need to support the family while at the same time trying to build something for myself, right? So my mom is a single mom. My mom dia bercerai masa the year I took my SPM.
Right.
So things have been tough lah, but I didn't know because I was just busy studying kan, macam trying to go this normal college life and belajar and all that. But towards the end tu baru I tahu sebenarnya my mom has been struggling for quite some time, and she hasn't been working because she works in the oil and gas industry. She was one of the first few who got laid off when the industry tanked lah kan. So at that time, I knew that, okay, I need to make a certain amount of money for my own well-being in the US to build whatever it is I'm trying to build, but at the same time, trying to send money back home lah.
I see. So you did that?
Yes.
So it was that way and not this way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yes, correct. Yeah. People thought that I would, actually, funny enough, about 3 weeks ago, I met a friend and he said to me, Nabil, so how do you actually need it? So I gave him the whole spiel lah, cerita semua.
Same thing lah.
And then he said like, to be honest bro, aku tengok kau kan dengan kawan-kawan aku ingat kau dah ada family lah, bagi kau duit ke apa, duduk situ chill, relax, kau buat apa kau nak buat macam tu. I mean, I wish it was like that. I like to have a life like that, tapi it's just a matter of something that I have to do, and then if I don't do it, then everyone around me would fall. Right, so that's why I say it's a matter of choice and desperation jugalah. Right. So I had to make it work. But of course, when I first started the business, tak adalah immediately terus berjaya, terus dapat clients banyak. There are challenges to it lah. But I guess that's another story on its own. But I tried to drive Uber at that time, to do some things and macam to get money. I even worked for Amazon packing boxes to earn income. At night between 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. Is this
while you studying or after?
No, ni after lah.
And they allow you to do that because of the visa thing?
Technically, no lah. But I mean, on paper, it's like a grey area lah. A lot in the US is sebenarnya you boleh buat, but it's grey area. But kalau ada orang report and tu semua, then most probably, I don't know lah, I might get in trouble. But at any point in time, I try to get as much information as possible to see whether boleh ke tidak. And then I make that calculated risk lah, macam okay lah kot, macam tu.
A lot of Malaysians who study overseas, tak kisah US ke UK ke, majority will return to Malaysia and compete against the Malaysian graduates, which is fine. You're in Malaysia, you can come back anytime.
Yes.
But you chose to stay there and face all those challenges, and it's not easy, isn't it, to actually pay the bills to survive, while at the same time trying to run a business. Okay, so you did mention about doing side business and whatnot, but how I mean, based on the numbers lah, was it enough for you to do work here and then run a business and then pay your bills? How do you manage to do it?
It was just enough lah. I would say. Sometimes I'm short, but because the fact that you can leverage credit card, so that you can sort of pay something 30 days later. I mean, I wouldn't advise that because I'm Financial Faiz. I was talking about finance. I wouldn't do that. It's just a matter of like, it's a choice that, okay, I know that, okay, the credit card gives me an extra 30 days to pay certain bills.
Right.
So as long as I meet those things, then boleh lah. But so every month, sometimes ada lambat sikit, sometimes ada cepat sikit, but I managed it lah.
Right. Nabil said something about credit card and Financial Faiz. To be honest, Financial Faiz actually allows, I'm not, siapa I nak halang. I actually do agree with people using credit card as long as they know what they're getting into. So things like 30 days grace period and whatnot, semua tu, as long as you know about it and you actually pay on time before you kena interest, tak ada masalah. Credit card is just a tool. People yang takut sangat pasal credit card ni sebab dia tak tahu. But the moment you tahu, the moment you know about those things, then it becomes a good tool for you that you can use during the worst of times.
Correct. I would say the worst of times lah.
The worst of times, Has it ever crossed your mind to get a green card or even to become an American citizen lah? I mean, back then I tengok cerita macam Gilmore Girls and I was wow, Harvard, nice. And then you probably had the same thing. That's why you fell in love with America. But to what extent was it?
Okay, so soalan panas jugalah. So I would say ada a point in time that I felt that macam, okay, maybe I would want to have a green card and stay there. Tapi I think deep down in me, I've always felt that I think one day I will be back home in Malaysia. I just used USA as a tool for me to build what I wanted to build and eventually maybe come back home. Macam tu lah. So that was my inner punya tu lah. But never have I thought that, okay, I want to become an American citizen. It brought me there to feel like macam there's a lot of positives dekat US, but also there's a lot of negatives that I feel like macam it doesn't fit who I am and who I want to be and who I want to build in the US lah.
I assume dekat US tu you ada banyak contacts. So now you dah balik Malaysia, being a digital media agency, is it?
Yes.
Is that your main bread and butter?
Correct. That's my main bread and butter.
So your clients can actually still come from America?
Yes, correct. We do have clients from America still. And because the fact that so when I came back in 2019, most of my clients are all from the US, and I work from here outside my office dekat Common Ground Ampang dulu. I always come work at 10 PM until about 3 AM because time tu siang kan kat sana. So for I would say 6 to 7 months they were quite worried lah, macam when are you coming back? How are things? And
why would they be worried? I mean, even in America, if they're talking to another digital media agency, perhaps they will be talking to someone in Miami, like you said,
correct.
While they are in New York or in LA.
Correct. I think the extra layer of fear to say that macam okay, Nabil ni because he's an immigrant, right? Satu. So if dia balik negara dia and then most probably dia hilang, dia tak nak buat kerja dia, nobody can actually go and kejar dia sampai situ kan. But as long as you're a US citizen and all that, you can sort of technically still put lawsuits in. That's whatever lah. But for me, I'm a bit more protected because I have my entity. You can do whatever you want to the entity, but I'm safe if I'm here lah, macam tu. But over time, I guess they realise that sebenarnya boleh je Nabil stay in Malaysia and build a team here and then eventually service dekat sana. And the fact that actually when COVID happened, and I had to stay here, I cannot travel back, that solidifies the fact that okay, I'm fine with Nabil being there and then all that lah. Macam tu. Because although macam even if people feel like macam in the US is more advanced and all that, but there are people there are still a bit more macam ke belakang lah, in a sense that macam they still don't believe in technology, they still don't immerse themselves to say that this is the future, we have to do it. Macam kita rasa macam kadang-kadang dekat Malaysia ni orang tak nak masuk Zoom, takut, macam work from home ni macam it's something yang macam orang tak suka kan.
Especially
dekat sana pun there are some people who are worse.
Okay.
But depends on the demography and depends on which area and who you deal with lah.
You mentioned you came back in 2018, was it?
2018, yes.
Okay, and then did you get the visa right after
yes,
that?
Yes, I did. And then in 2019, I went back there again.
Okay.
So overseas things, so dah lama tak ada kat situ. And then I think I stayed there about 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. And then I decided to macam okay, because while I was in Malaysia, I dah lama tak balik tau. I stayed in the US for quite some time, and bila I balik Malaysia, I catch up with my friends. I catch up siapa yang dah kerja corporate, yang ada business sendiri, yang memang dah ada anak pun dah ada. So I didn't know what I was missing in Malaysia sebenarnya. So yes, Malaysia ada banyak benda yang we wish to be better. We wish it can become a certain way. But because of the fact that things can become better, those are the opportunities for Malaysians like us can make something out of it.
I see.
Macam tu. So for example, when I came back, not a lot of people tahu about SEO pun. People think it's just like some coding thing that happens, and not a lot of agencies actually offer SEO. Most at that time asyik jual Facebook ads, Instagram ads and whatnot.
Do tell us more about this SEO. How does it compare, your services compared to whatever that has been offered in Malaysia?
Okay. So SEO is search engine optimization. It's a digital marketing tool or channel where you generate free traffic or organic traffic to your website.
Okay.
So meaning whenever you search for something, Google will give you those results. Those are there not by accident, but actually by people who actually do SEO on those websites. So we offer that service to clients overall lah. Siapa B2B or B2C type of clients, it's fine. Because the method stays the same even if the product is different. So what we do that's a bit different than in Malaysia is because in the SEO world, ada cara nak buat SEO ni. Cara cepat dan murah, cara yang mahal, lama tapi sustainable, or somewhere in between. Apa yang kita panggil dia lah, yang belah kiri ni yang sustainable is white hat. Macam clean lah Yang belah kanan sekali ni yang cerita tadi, yang paling yang cepat dan murah is the black hat punya way. Okay. So yang some people do in the middle and we panggil grey hat lah. So black hat punya cara ni is like you really macam buat macam hacker or underground way, or you really manipulate the work that you do on the website to show that your website actually is supposed to be ada authority in the space, ada popularity. Macam sending fake signals lah per se to Google. And then bila benda tu berlaku, Google akan nampak macam okay, this website actually deserves more visibility, jom kita bagi. But actually, if you actually do it right, memang cepat lah boleh dapat. So the way that we have to do in the US, mostly because we deal with businesses and lawsuits are abound in the US, they would like you to do things a bit more macam transparent. So the approach that we've been doing in the US, we sort of brought it back home to Malaysia lah. Yes, the prices is a bit higher, tapi it's a bit more sustainable to the brand. Dan tak adalah macam lepas 2 tahun buat SEO, tiba-tiba Nabil, why my website punya tu tiba-tiba hilang by 50%, or tiba-tiba my website hilang by 100% worth of traffic. Because most of the time SEO ni, kalau you buat dengan betul, it will be consistent and it will be sustainable lah. But if you buat macam cara-cara cheat code ni, you can work. I wouldn't say that 100% salah, because some companies, like I said, dia buat tengah-tengah. When Google detects that you cheating the system, that's when you lose your website, you lose the traffic, macam tu. So Google punya policy, like when they started up until now, may not change a lot. It's still the same. They want you to give the best content to the people so that people dapat. Then after that, dia akan rasa macam, okay, I'm going to stay so long on this website and then just read on it lah kan. Tapi what people don't understand is that when Google actually launched this algorithm updates, it's actually they are improving the AI to police the policies, so that they become better policemen to say that, okay, this website is actually cheating.
How often do they release the update?
It's about maybe 2-3 months a year. A major.
Do they announce?
They announce. They would announce. Sometimes things happen first, then they announce. Then people in the SEO space will be like, for sure something is happening, macam tu. Sometimes they bagi tahu awal-awal. But usually in a year, they memang keep on updating lah.
You keep on mentioning Google and website, but how about videos nowadays? People are watching videos, and these videos like I think I can mention lah. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. They have their own search engines built in, and I assume they detect using AI, which is what TikTok is doing. What is really happening in the video itself, as well as the speech that is being done in the video.
Correct.
They can detect. They can. Now it's very easy. All the websites boleh tahu apa you cakap. Boleh keluar automatic subtitle.
Yes.
So does BlackGrid get into that space, that social media space?
Understood. So that's a really good question sebenarnya. Yes, sebenarnya with the fact that TikTok is very prevalent dekat Malaysia and I think worldwide juga kan. Semua orang dah talk about SEO TikTok.
Right.
We had the description and the things that you put in in the video. Actually, it does help because the way that TikTok has sort of built diorang punya search engine within TikTok is quite similar. I wouldn't say it's the same as YouTube. Where if you realise when you search for something, dia macam dah terus ada autocomplete kan. Macam you try to type something, it will autocomplete in a way macam this is what people
but
are
that was like 10 years
for.
ago.
Correct. Tapi dia punya tu is a lot better now.
For TikTok,
yes. Right. It's a lot better. And I wouldn't offer macam in BlackGrid itself lah, kita orang tak ada offer macam a service to do SEO just for your videos on YouTube. Macam tu. That's not something that we focus on. Our area of expertise is more to websites.
Right.
But I would not deny that if someone were to start a company just focusing on that, I think that would be an addressable market yang tak banyak orang buat lah.
Let's go back to the SEO. You mentioned about your company helping websites appear upon web searches,
Yes.
And then you champion doing it the white hat way, the proper way, instead of tricking and whatnot. But what if there's a website yang tak ada SEO punya package or whatever, they just buat je lah, but they write good articles, very good articles compared to a website yang tak ada apa-apa, tapi dia dapat SEO package. How does Google weigh between these two for the same keyword lah?
For the same keyword. Okay, so one website ada all the content,
all the best keywords lah. I assume original content, bukan copy paste. I guess because Google would know if this is ni taken from other website, but this one is actually original from this website, but zero SEO package. I assume your answer would be this one has a lot of potential raw materials to work with lah.
Yes.
Compared to this one. Can you address that?
Okay, so to answer that, I would say, I guess I'll give a bit context of how SEO would work lah in layman terms. Imagine that you're in high school. There are popular kids, regular kids, and misfits or budak biasa lah. So regular kids usually macam lagi ramai lah kan. The popular kids are always liked by the teachers. they are always given opportunities. Sometimes in school I nampak macam budak popular macam ada this camping trip dekat Langkawi to represent the school. The popular kids usually will get the opportunities, right? So how, as a regular person or regular kid, how do you get popular?
Make yourself more presentable, yes.
Okay, that's good.
Speak out.
But the easiest one is to have all these popular kids to start talking about you, right? Regular is it bad press or bad press? Good press tu lah tepi lah kan. But if they start talking about you, slowly you will be pushed into the circle of then, okay, he actually or he or she belongs in a group of us.
Right.
Then you slowly become popular. Betul. So now let's translate that and put it into the internet. The internet is similar. It's like high school juga. There are popular websites. Flashback daripada zaman sekolah high school kan tu lah. There are popular websites, regular business websites like us, and there are spam websites yang macam
copy paste content,
macam tu lah, or even like selling macam drugs and whatever, or casinos and what not lah kan. Those are considered spam. So the easiest way for regular websites such as us is to have all these popular websites to start talking about us. But how do websites talk to one another? One way is to have a link from your website to my website. So that's the only way of looking of a website is interlinked together kan. So when you take that context, the more popular website that starts talking about you or connecting to you, that's when Google will realize that, okay, there's so many websites that are giving you a vote of confidence. There must be a reason why this website is being talked about, all this website. Let's give them more visibility. And then once you get more visibility and people actually go to your website and stay and actually engage, that's when Google will then cement your position and actually give you more. Because at the end of the day, Google nak bagi apa? The best search result to the user. Macam tu. In the context you punya soalan tadi, a website yang ada banyak artikel, website yang tak ada apa-apa tapi buat SEO, yang mana yang akan menang? I would say the website yang tak ada apa-apa with SEO tu akan menang. Sebab apa? One of the main key drivers for ranking or visibility is actually that vote of confidence from other website.
Right.
So because if you are on the internet and nobody actually knows about you, that talks about you, then Google would think that you're not important.
Right.
Even if you shout and bagi flyers everywhere and people don't actually associate you with something, then you akan kalah. But if you have those content and you buat SEO, that's when you're going to be the bigger fish lah.
Right,
in the point.
right. But then, can you explain how does, in your service, macam mana the website tu, your client's website, for example, is being talked about by other websites?
Okay, so with 8 years being in the business, we've actually created like networks of people who own websites or who have access to certain websites. So we have different websites in different niches or industries. So when we onboard a client, then we know this website needs to be talked atau be connected with specific set of websites.
Right.
Macam tu. So then those websites will get a vote of confidence lah. When they get the vote of confidence from the industry that they want to be found for, then it's easier to be found in the industry. Some people that do SEO is dia macam asalkan a website from anywhere in the world yang tak ada kena dengan business dia pun connected to their website pun dia ingatkan is enough, but it's actually not. You have to have relevance in that as well. The technicalities tu macam lagi mendalam lah. Maybe perhaps another time we can talk about that, but I'm just trying to simplify or maybe oversimplify how SEO actually works. And it's good that you mentioned about website and the content too. Content too actually helps because the more things that Google can actually crawl on your website and get information from, correct, then the more information they can simpan in their servers to then understand what your website is all about. Then the more keywords, then your website will be able to be found for. But if you just create content and you don't have that backlink punya strategy where you actually get the vote of confidence from other website, then susah you not get that visibility.
Okay, would you say Reddit is a big website? It's one of the biggest
ones.
Oh,
yes.
It's kind of funny though. It's one of the biggest, but I've never met anyone who actually used Reddit. Like, they won't even share their username. Okay, fine. Is that why a lot of websites are being posted dekat Reddit? Just so that they can be talked about by
Okay.
Such a big website.
Okay, that's actually a very, very good question and example. So, dalam SEO ni, there's this thing where we call social signals. Meaning, let's say if you have a website and your URL is posted on Facebook or Reddit. Reddit is considered, I would say, like a social network. And then people upvote or like talk about it. Actually gives signals to Google to say that, hey, this website actually important juga sebenarnya. But it's in the form of social signals. But not really of a backlink from one website to the other. Backlink tu macam paling senang kalau you tengok baca news article and then tiba-tiba you baca dia ada macam highlight kan, macam hyperlink lah.
That's
When
right.
you click, you can go to a new tab or it goes to a new page. That's a form of backlink sebenarnya.
I see.
So the more of that you have from other websites that are relevant in your industry, then the higher vote counts that you have, then the more trust Google will have on your website. The keyword here and the game in SEO is about increasing the trust that Google would need to have on your website. Once you master that game, then apa-apa you letak, Google will automatically trust it and push it for you for free lah.
Okay.
Macam tu.
You keep on mentioning Google. Is Google the last search engine that we need? Maybe we have other things like Bing.
Okay, so good question. Kalau you kat US, then I would not only talk about Google, I would talk about Bing, maybe DuckDuckGo and all that lah kan. But in Malaysia, there's a statistic that actually came out from SME Corp, ada a few 2 years ago. 99.8% of search engine users in Malaysia is actually Google. So
99.8%.
99.8%. Yang lain tu is very minimal lah. I think it's because the browsers default. Macam kat sekolah kan, tiba-tiba dah Bing. But everyone uses Google in Malaysia. That's why I talk more about Google in Malaysia. But one thing that people don't know about, or maybe they tahu, is when you do well on Google, it automatically in a way that you will get macam almost the top results dekat the other search engines. Correct.
Yeah, that's the thing. People use Bing and what's their Edge, is it?
Yeah, Microsoft Edge kan.
Well, you install your PC, you open your Edge, you go to Bing, and then you search for Google Chrome, download it, and then you open Google balik.
Dipaksa kan? Betul. Yes.
Now, talking about users and website, I have a concern.
Okay.
My being Financial Faiz, and just so you know, it's kind of funny. Nabil's company is the one who's building my website, financialfaiz.com. It's under construction. I'm very slow about it. It's my fault, not his fault. They've been waiting, tanya, bila nak bagi input ni? I kata, tunggu jap. Let me take my time dulu. But I actually do take my time lah. I do other things, which is productive.
He's a busy man. I really expect.
But the funny thing is that I do have quite a number of followers dekat Google, dekat YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook and whatnot, semua lah kan. But I believe those are not my subscribers. I pinjam sahajalah.
Okay.
They actually those subscribers belong to YouTube, Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. It's their subscribers.
Correct.
If at any moment they decide to cut me off because I buat video yang salah ke, they don't like it ke, I would lose my voice. But the same thing doesn't happen if I have a website.
Yes, actually you brought a really good point. So the website that you have is actually your own asset lah.
Right.
Because no one can actually take away your website unless the government have like a
blocker,
macam warrant lah,
right.
Macam that's ours or something lah.
Right.
But your website is like your rumah that nobody can touch. So even like you cakap, let's say you post a video dekat YouTube and people buang, macam block you and it's just deplatform you, then kat mana lagi nak cakap? Website is the only place that you can do whatever you want and people cannot do anything to it. So if someone have a website and they actually build a mailing list from their website, yes, a newsletter, that's something that you can own forever. Because I have a few clients in the US and one of them, dia orang ada buat this live auction punya platform. So they every 30 minutes ada je something yang dia jual.
Anything, just not house, it could be a house, but it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. But at first when they started, they focused more on jewelries. So when they started to build a website, we told them like macam you should build this newsletter, an option where people can actually opt in, right? So when people started to opt in, and over time they have so much of data, and then diorang macam rasa macam I have over like 20,000 people in my list that I can actually monetize from, because they are either buyers or people who actually compete in the auction kan. So when they actually launch their newsletter, diorang tak expect lah macam ada orang akan reply, tapi sebenarnya diorang punya open rate was actually about 25%.
Oh, sorry, open rate?
Open rate is like, okay, let's say you hantar 10,000 email, and then if you're 20% open rate, meaning 20% daripada 10,000 tu buka the email lah.
Oh, they can tell?
Yes, you can tell. When you have like an email punya service macam Mailchimp or whatever, macam banyak lah option sekarang ni. Kalau you buka, you can be able to tell how many people actually open your email and all that. And then daripada situ you can act upon that data to either sell, to either upsell, to maybe cater your content in a different way, macam tu.
Is this a service that you also do as a BlackGrid?
It's like a optional service lah. It's not something that we market.
I see. Now let's talk about Twitter.
Okay.
We talk about algorithm and whatnot. Twitter has changed the algorithm, and then they announced it juga.
Yes.
I myself I'm a subscriber for Twitter Blue. I do it because of its work. But other people do it for fun. I think account dia tak ada, they're not promoting anything, they're not promoting their own brand pun, dia ambil juga Twitter Blue.
Yes.
In your opinion, Twitter ni, how does it compare to website? Because Twitter is very fast. If let's say something happened 1 hour ago, on Twitter dah 1,000 orang cakap pasal benda tu. On my own website, if it is popular, then popular lah. Tapi if it is not popular, then people won't actually come unless I'm a news punya website lah. Macam CNN ke apa ke.
Correct.
So how does all these websites, especially Twitter, compare to our own website in terms of user visibility?
So even though I champion SEO and I champion websites, we live in a world that when you start a business or you want your voice to be heard, you have to go for a holistic approach. You need to be visible on so many different platforms, and Twitter is very, very powerful because as you mentioned tadi, you cakap you can buat a tweet and it can just become the news of a specific country or city just because of a few tweets, right? Macam kalau nak news tu, you have to then write and then post later, and then maybe people would reference that for more facts or details. But for immediate story or immediate context of what's happening, people jump on Twitter. Because I think like 2 to 3 years ago, I jarang pakai Twitter, but now I'm a bit more religious in a sense that macam, Twitter can actually be used for macam, I nak tahu what's the landscape today, what are people talking about, and actually even get clients on that platform itself.
Let's say going forward, I'm trying to talk about challenges.
Okay.
People like me, I put my website last.
Okay.
I do YouTube dulu semua. There might be people out there who has a TikTok account, 1 million followers, still have no website.
Yes.
Is there a shift from people wanting to own their website to just trying to tak apalah, kita duduk dekat social media sajalah. It's much easier anyway sebenarnya. Just buka satu, create account, create page, dah settle. How do you, as someone who champions SEO, see things going lah in terms of business? Okay.
So in the US, the shift is there because the reason why I think maybe US is a bit more of macam radical example, because in the US, the political landscape is a bit more to the left and to the right, kan? And makin lama makin extreme.
Very divided.
Correct. It's very, very divided. You can see that when you are popular on a specific platform and you are not in line with that platform's allegiance in terms of politics, you can be deplatformed almost immediately. So now a lot of these people who are popular on YouTube or Twitter and all that, they realize that they need to have their own website. Then they funnel more people into places that they can control. There's a shift there, and a lot of people are asking for those kind of services now. In Malaysia, maybe not so, but more business savvy people yang macam fikir, I'm gonna build like a media company or media empire, someone like you lah, I would say, right? So macam you understand that in business you have to mitigate risk, you have to understand that sebenarnya nothing is forever. So then you start looking at other areas to protect your asset or your business lah. So people yang a bit more savvy, dia akan lompat ke arah tu. Okay, I'm gonna build a website, I'm gonna build this backup plan, even though it's still macam kira the last resort, but at least ada, versus yang macam I'm just gonna write TikTok forever and tak tahu sampai bila I'm not be able to rely on it one day, and tak tahu nak buat apa dah lepas tu. Macam tu. So there, you need to think about it, because actually kalau nak buat website sendiri pun boleh pakai Wix, pakai Squarespace. You can start building a very simple one and you can own that domain for quite some time. And to be honest, it's actually a very good SEO tip. The longer that you have a domain, the more authority they actually have.
I see.
Macam kalau you baru beli domain hari ni versus a domain that was bought 2 years ago and dah ada, when you do SEO on a domain that's a 2-year-old domain, you have better and faster results versus the one yang baru.
Even if the domain maybe tak active pun, it was bought but it wasn't parked anyway.
But it needs to be hosted lah.
To be hosted lah. I see.
Macam kalau katakan you ada domain, lepas tu that website macam tak ada apa dia post, just like one landing page, it's okay. It's better.
I see. Cakap pasal the social media sites, they change their rules almost every single day. Yang ni boleh buat, lepas tu tak boleh buat. Betul tak?
Yeah. It's quite confusing lah. Macam social media ni, I think because it's an ever growing space and a lot of people are on it, so that's something that I think myself pun keeping up with it pun susah.
But when it is susah, isn't that where opportunity comes in? Would you say that your company could get into that space?
There's a possibility because as of right now, I think even when we try to sell a lot of SEO kan, almost every other day or every other week ada je company yang cakap, korang buat tak Facebook, korang buat tak benda-benda ni. We do, but that's not our main bread and butter. We do have clients that, okay, we know that we can help, we give you, because I think our approach is more of like a consultancy punya type of company. Macam you know how people have access to macam company besar kan, ada McKinsey, ada Accenture. Accenture is very focused on digital transformation and all that, but the SMEs don't actually have access to that. So our approach is to eventually macam, yes, you datang, maybe you nak tahu lebih pasal SEO, but we try to educate you what are your options sebenarnya. But if SEO is not your thing, then you should actually focus on something else lah. That's our philosophy in a sense lah. So I can see that the fact that there's demand, and as a business owner you have to figure out macam kalau orang dah minta benda tu, and you have macam cara nak menolong dia orang, why don't you also jump into that if it makes sense to the business lah. So I would say that we might go into that route because in the agency space, I think this is something that we discussed earlier kan, macam what are the concerns of having an agency. Eventually sebenarnya the fact that so many agencies mushrooming across the world, not just in Malaysia, you either fight for value or you fight on pricing. So the one yang fight for pricing tries to go for volume lah. But the thing is, sometimes when you go for volume, you might not be able to deliver results as you would want, because now the space, banyak company akan spend money on digital marketing, and because of that, there's a lot more competition, meaning you need more resources to compete and to be ahead of your competition versus if you compare that to 5 years ago lah. So having all the necessary digital punya marketing channels in your, I would say, marketing strategy is essential. So I wouldn't say and continue to say macam we are just an SEO company, although that's our main focus, but we will definitely add more things that would make sense for the type of clients that we get on board lah.
Right. Having said that, since you sebut businesses and whatnot, how many employees do you have?
We have 7.
Where are they based? Are they based in
we
Malaysia?
We all have home offices. We work remotely. So yes, right. Dekat Malaysia kita ada 3, okay. Dekat US ada 3, dekat Pakistan ada seorang.
So this is an international company of
yes.
sorts.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
We've always, I've noticed that bigger companies, MNCs, they always have employees from multiple background, not just in one specific country. So you're doing quite well for yourself, I would say.
Boleh lah. I mean, there are a lot of bigger agency under 20-30 employee. I'm still about a size of 7.
Okay. Nabil, it's been nice talking to you. I definitely hope that you can come again and share more about your industry and challenges lah going forward. So we talk about the previous years, and then going forward in about a year's time, we do not know what's going to happen. There could be another website, another platform. I think it's a TikTok with your sister, Lemonade.
Yes.
I mean, we are there, but we're not popular because there's mostly beautiful things that are being shared there.
Okay.
Macam bag tangan ke, travelling ke. We're not popular there, but we just chop our spot there, just letaklah Financial Faiz kat situ kan, supaya orang tak boleh ambil. Yes,
that's good. I think there's a chance that it might grow bigger than what it is now, because the ex-CEO of TikTok actually dah lompat ke sana.
Oh, really?
Yes. That Singaporean based guy, or I think he's Singaporean, dia dah lompat to Lemonade.
Oh, that's why it looks so similar. Okay. Alright. Thank you very much, Encik Nabil.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for having me here. It's an honor, and with someone like I've always seen on YouTube and TikTok, seeing you in person and actually sitting in front of you, it's actually a very, very big honor for me. So thank you for having me. Really appreciate it, and I hope whatever I shared today can add value to you and also to the listeners. So Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and that's why we do this, because we want people to not just dengar pasal personal finance. Personal finance is good, but what's beyond that? Is it investment? If you look at all the audience, the guests that I have here, all of them invest in themselves first. So like Nabil, you definitely invested, time that he spent watching YouTube videos about those are all considered as a self-investment. So this is where he is now because this self-invest. Yes. So bukan nak kata jangan sibuk-sibuk pasal investment kat luar sana, UT ke emas ke, itu boleh. Tapi the most important thing is always about self-investment. Thank you very much, Nabil.
Thank you, Mr. Faiz.
Jumpa lagi insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. I like it my way, but I respect your way. Macam wow, tu yang macam you macam bukan nak kata you tipu, tapi more like you are able to make people perceive you as someone that is macam nak kaya. Yes. I thought farmer. I thought bapak bayar 100,000 investment dalam company.